But a little bit of smooth jazz, but really terribly done. Just be bopping and doing the thing where you just make noises in a jazzy way, the name of which is escaping me. I'm going to sit in silence till I figured it out. Just come on in. Just come on in. Scat. Scatting. Germans, no. No. Unannounced stream, more or less, just sort of throwing it up there. It's probably going to be a short one because I'm a very tired man. And the reason I'm a very tired man is because I was working all weekend doing convention things for SummerCon in Washington State. It was a lot of fun, a lot of great stories. Maybe I'll even tell you about them sometime. Or not. But I digress. Just had another... don't mind me, just another hearing. It's going, you might look at what's happening with the case and be like, wow, it's really not going well. But that's because I'm currently on the defensive and don't know what I'm doing. That's changing, though, because I've just contacted an attorney referral association thing, and I will be hiring an attorney. As we've been discussing for the last 2 weeks, that was always the plan. Want to see how these things would go that I filed? Not phenomenal, but I have been granted the ability to, they're not like off the table. I've been granted the ability to go back and write them more appropriately. An attorney should assist with that. So we're going to wait 10 minutes as per usual so that people can trickle in. So if you're watching after the fact, feel free to skip forward about 10 minutes. Should get you closer to when we actually start. I can't confirm, guarantee that we'll be at the 10-minute mark. But it will be, we shouldn't start anything substantial until that. So if you're like watching this, you're at 5 minutes and you're just like, when are we going to get into it? Well, if you're watching live in another 5 minutes, well, another 8 minutes for you. But at the 5-minute mark, you know what I'm saying? Folks, I cannot emphasize enough how tired I am right now. It's been a long, many days. Very little sleep. For those of you who don't know, working at conventions, doing the security stuff and being in the chaos. Hello, squeaky chair. It's good. Yeah, you're here too. Being a part of that was one of the main. Well, I won't say main. It was a big reason I joined the military. I was an animation student at the time, video game design development, moving into animation because I realized I'm not really that good at programming. It does not spark joy. And I had a friend who was in the Civil Air Patrol, and he got, that ended up getting him a position in a up-and-coming convention in the area, doing the security stuff for one of these conventions. And after that, he was telling me about it. I went, wow, that sounds really fun.
Huge!
Oh, no. And basically, I was able to get to be a part of that as well, and went, this is the most fun I've ever had for no money. I want to keep doing this, and I did. I kept working at conventions, and then I went, if I can do this professionally, I want to, but I don't have a resume that where I could do that. So that was one of the reasons I joined the Army, is basically to build that resume, and I'm glad I did. I had a lot of I benefited a lot from the military. Not everyone will. It's not for everybody, but it certainly improved me in many ways. But when I got out of the military, I did end up doing that kind of thing professionally before getting a pretty good offer to do, I wouldn't say that exactly, but similar. And the National Guard was asked, hey, do you have anyone that wants to volunteer? Because the National Guard is often present at these. It's great for recruiting, just like having your stands, doing whatever. People in cosplay like to take pictures with military vehicles if their cosplay is related to the military in any way, or even if it isn't. It's good for the Instagram, I guess. So National Guard does go to these things. They're a lot of fun, the guys that they sent over there. I talked to a lot of them. They were great. I like the bomb disposal squad over there, letting people lift up bottles of water with the robot. Good for them. So they're like, hey, we got some people putting up their displays, the military displays. Do we have anyone that just wants to volunteer to assist, be drivers, do work security, do whatever? And I was like, please, yes, I'd love to try that again. Now that I've done it, and go back into it. And I loved it. And I don't want to stop doing it. It's actually a problem because I don't get enough sleep. 'Cause I just was like, no, go to bed. No, give me more. Give me more to do. Uh, they so it's gonna be about a week of recovery, and I do this knowing that like I schedule my time for 4 days essentially of nonstop chaos and whatever. It was actually very smooth, this convention, not without its problems, but um, certainly I've been to conventions where I got less sleep. So it's sort of an all out push. The fourth day is like, by the end of it, you're done. You can't give any more. And then he's about spent a week recovering. However, this week I have a lot of stuff to do, to include there was a hearing today, a hearing on Thursday, I believe, as well. So um, the judge is aware that I am getting an attorney now. I'm sure he's very relieved about that because he wants this done, I'm sure, as much as I do. So I can't talk about that yet, though. Disclaimers. Do I have any other disclaimers? If I speak too fast, too slow, and you're watching after the fact, I'm sorry, there's not much I can do about it. You, however, can change the speed at which this video is played. You can make it faster or slower. You can feel free to skip forward if something doesn't appeal to you as far as what is being communicated. If you're watching this live and you're like, hey, man, can you do something different? Can you change your audio, for example? It's a great example. Tell me if my audio is wrong, because if people are like, after the fact, like, your audio wasn't great, and they were in the live stream, and they said nothing, and it's possible I just missed. It's possible I just missed what you're saying. It's not actually your fault. Make sure I know. However, do keep in mind there is a delay of 20 seconds, maybe. So if there's an issue and you say something, there's a good chance that by the time you see it, a period of time has elapsed, and by the time I see your response, a period of time has elapsed. So just be aware of that. There may be a delay. There will be a delay. So, but so I don't stop. That's right, Carried. I do stop because I like to sleep. Humongo says, "Were you too drunk to go to your court date again?" I've never been too drunk to go to a court date. But okay. However, we do have Low Speed Belly Drag. Thank you for being a member for so long. Good God, 10 months. Thank you. Says, Blue. Blue's your color. Just because there's a temporary setback doesn't mean victory for you. Chili, it just delays the inevitable. Yeah, it really is like, it's just like, I would have liked to be competent enough to do this, but obviously I'm not an attorney. Chili's not an attorney, but this period of time is where I am on the defensive, essentially. More so than, well, I'll always be on the defensive in this case, but like, this is the point where what Chili has filed has a lot of weight. In the trial, he'll have to prove it all, presumably. However, at this point, I have to prove why he can't, or something. I don't know. That I'm, again, tired, not an attorney. That may be completely wrong. The attorney I will be hiring will will be able to give me more information about it. I just sort of hoped that I could do this without doing that, but because, well, mostly because I don't expect to ever recover the money from Chili, because I don't believe he has the money to be recovered. And of course, Kate Peter, being sued in Massachusetts, she has spent a significant amount of money, from what I understand, on her case. And I don't know when mine's going to finish or hers is going to finish, but if hers finishes first, that's a lot of money. That's compared to what I've spent so far. I don't intend to spend that much. So even if he was able, Chili that is, was able to pay me back somehow, I assume that I would sort of be lower priority. There are a lot of factors in that, I assume. I'm not really sure, but I don't anticipate getting that money back at all. And I don't know how much effort I want to put into getting that money back, based on a variety of reasons. Some just because, like, I'm happy not to ever have to be in a courtroom, physically or virtually, with him again. Fortunately, I've only ever done it virtually. And because there are reasons that would benefit me. Oh, I don't want to go into it. No. I can't go into it just yet. But they're good. They're good reasons. Oh God, I'm so tired. I'm sure everyone's just like, yeah, shut up. We know. But I'm just looking at myself over there, just like. Also, there's a distinct lack of energy. My voice isn't because I've been yelling things over people, to other people all weekend. So my voice is just like, it's fine. What are we at? 9:58. I suppose we can get into it right now. Let's hit that for fun. Not sure why. Really, this would have been more appropriate. It's all the way over there. So it's fine. Oh, whoa, and oh, whoa, U235, and the rest of you. So, Chili didn't show up. And it wasn't like a huge issue for the judge. The judge was like, all right, well, okay. Because it was the conference hearing motion, whatever. I saw it and I was waiting. Goldfish, thank you so much. Says the fundraiser says what? Fundraiser does indeed say what? Thank you. Now, I will tell you, I'm not doing any official fundraiser just yet. Maybe in the future, once I have
fundraiser says what?
There it is, a better idea of what the final cost will be. But I don't want to ask for your money, especially when so many of you contributed to other legal defenses against Chili's actions. So I really do appreciate it, though. I think I'll be okay financially. We'll see. I will have a talk with the attorney saying he has stated an interest, he being Chili, that Chili has stated an interest, if I'm interpreting it correctly, in filing motions with the intent of costing me as much money as possible. And that I don't want the attorney to be responding to motions unless it's necessary or it would be detrimental not to, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. That makes sense. And that would be a conversation I'll have with him or her. A female attorney would be really fun. Because you know how Chili appears to get sometimes. Or maybe you don't. I don't want to put words into mouths and et cetera. Yeah, he just didn't show up. So obviously we can't do our conference hearing shenanigans without him there. However, a lot of people were having trouble getting into the courtroom virtually. Chili may have been one of them, but he never, according to the court, communicated that he was having trouble, so that they were aware, which is something you definitely want to do. If you can't get in, you want to at least let the court know why you can't get in, that you can't get in. Then maybe they can try something, and they're going to be a lot more forgiving. It wasn't like, screw this dude, like just drop the case because he wasn't here. This wasn't one of those hearings. It wasn't that. It had the potential to be a longer one, but it wasn't. The judge did say I took notes. I took some decent notes. It was pretty short. And the judge was he's definitely frustrated with this case. He's definitely like, I don't want to, like, you guys really should get attorneys. Like, I keep saying this. I cannot emphasize it enough. You like thing. You filed the special motion to strike for anti-SLAPP, and the minutes were sent out. If you saw them, you see that I had to deny it because you didn't even meet the first prong of whatever. But you do have until July 27th to file a responsive pleading. And that, I see how this case is going to go. I want you to get an attorney, both of you. And that can mean a lot of things. That can mean, like, I see that it's not going to go anywhere, and you would be able to shut this down pretty quickly if you actually had someone filing this correctly. Or it could mean a variety of other things. I'm going to be optimistic about it because what I'm seeing is that it should be pretty easy. It's just I don't have it quite down as far as like how it should be done, which is fair. I gave it a shot. I'm at the point where I'm very much aware that I wasn't meeting that line. Joey's not meeting the line either, so I'm not too worried about it as far as like what has been done and shooting myself in the foot or anything. But I'm getting the impression the judge is aware of what I'm trying to do. And he isn't stopping me. He isn't. If I was filing just a bunch of absurd nonsense, I feel like maybe the minutes that were put out would have been differently. I don't know if he's required to give me a month to rewrite it. But maybe that's the thing, and I'm misinterpreting this entirely. But he wasn't like unpolite to me. He wasn't unfriendly, but he was definitely serious about it, which is what I would expect from a judge, what I would hope from a judge. Absolutely. So, what the judge actually said in this, and this is pretty close to exact. I'm typing as quick as I can, so it won't be 100%, but 80-90% accurate. He said that he wanted to explain to Mr. Cash what was going on with demur to the answer, which is going to be denied. Simply put, The demur was not an answer, so there will be a hearing for the demur itself on August 1st, because the first hearing was for the answer. But since it's not an answer, it will have to be addressed as a demur at a future date, being August 1st, which is fair. That was something that was anticipated. I know Merb went over that and said, maybe that will work, but that's very unconventional. And so that's going to be up to the judge. The judge that we have is fairly strict, it would appear, plays very close to the rules, which I do love. I don't hate that at all. I think that's very appropriate. So he decided that, like, nah, we can't consider it an answer. But it's not done. It's not over, it would appear. It will still be heard, just as its own separate thing. I'm not being slapped around saying, like, you didn't even file an answer. That's unacceptable. It's just, okay, we'll address it as we address it. Understand why it wasn't approved. Makes sense to me. Anticipated it. Not too worried about it. He said, for case management, we do want Mr. Castro to be present at the hearing, and the requirement to have myself and Mr. Castro meet and confer will be suspended because obviously communications are difficult given the nature of our selves, I suppose, and what has already happened between us, both before the hearing and after. He didn't specify that, but it was implied that from this hearing and the previous hearing, like, obviously you guys aren't going to be able to communicate by phone or in person and get anything done. So that requirement is being waived or dismissed or whatever the actual phrasing is. However, we will still have to meet and confer as appropriate by written communications, email, for example. So any requirement I have or he has to send a message prior to filing a motion, etc., we still have to communicate. We still have to be like, hey, do you have any issues with this through text, as in written down or written down. However, we don't have to do it by phone or in person. So that does solve a lot of problems because Mr. Castro did say that I could. Okay, let me back up. It's not entirely his fault. I do not intend to communicate directly over the phone or in person with Mr. Castro without it being recorded, or either electronically or with like a court-approved professional hired stenographer, where everything is put down so it could be used as evidence if Mr. Castro, Chili, does something inappropriate in his communications, which is not something that is unheard of for him. In fact, in our email communications, he did say, and this is a direct quote from him, which I shared in the last live about the hearing, the last hearing, what it was, and because it's very problematic, I feel comfortable sharing it. I don't want to be sharing communications unless it's incredibly relevant and I think deserves to be in the public view because of the public interest in it and the effect that he has on the public. Any of that makes sense. If I was less tired, it would, I hope. He said, and this is a direct quote from the email I received, said, if I could find it, that would be helpful. Yes. Quite frankly, I think so little of you and your drunken, pathological lying self that I cringe to even write you an email, end quote. Now, this is in an email where he started it or ended it or put in there in a couple places that the intent of the email is only to ask if I would consent to electronic service for a case he intended to file against me in Washington State. Now, that very well could violate the protection order because it's not a communication that's related to the act. Well, maybe, because it technically is related to the filing of paperwork. The protection order says that he can communicate with me in certain ways with filing. I'm not sure this counts, and it's definitely the court allows to communicate only in regards to what was absolutely necessary for the California case. So I have some concerns about it. They may come up. I may file something with that. I'll probably want an attorney to make that happen so that it is as effective as possible, if it would have any effect at all. But yeah, problematic communications. So that's the whole thing. Now, as far as other things the judge said, was that June 29th is the next motion that's going to be heard. Excuse me. And that the case management meet and confer requirements, all that will be discussed further in the case management conference, which may be shifted to June 29th. I'm not exactly sure if that's his intent. I plan on showing up to it anyway. So if it happens there, I will be there. One would hope. And maybe Chili will actually show up this time. He didn't show up today. So this is your reminder, Chili, that maybe if you really feel that you have a case against me, and that if you're really upset about it, if you really are really harmed in some way by the actions you've claimed, of which I am not a part of, stalking, the California thing with whoever was the assault or whatever, where it kind of looks like you were the one who committed the assault, but yeah, if that you're so concerned about it, maybe actually be present, because I know that I don't think it's a very good look. I don't know how the judge feels about it, but I can't imagine that it's benefiting you as far as the opinion of the court, whether or not they actually, that it becomes relevant to how this court case proceeds. I'm just saying. So, Judge also said, let me go back, because what I said, I just didn't write down because I said it. I had asked the judge, I said, hey, regarding July 27th being the, when I can submit the responsive pleading to the anti-SLAPP special motion to strike, I do have my annual National Guard commitment for the first 2 weeks of July. I'd like to request an extension on that time. And the judge said to file a case management statement regarding requesting extension time to file responsive pleading based on military commitment. If Mr. DeCastro does not show up at the next hearing, it will just be approved automatically. But file that in the meantime, and then if he wants to object to it and has a reason why it shouldn't be granted, then that will be addressed, I presume. But the judge didn't say no. He's like, all right, yeah, that could be approved. Just make sure it's filed. And that was basically it. He's like, and that's my ruling on this matter, and you will get the minutes. And I will tell you, his demeanor definitely seemed a little friendlier after I said I'm getting an attorney. There was a case that was heard before me where the guy was like, yeah, I'm not getting an attorney until the actual trial. And the attorney, I think maybe I don't think it was his attorney. I think it was the opposing counsel. Like, he's been taking advantage of me this entire time, and something. The judge was like, I'm going to stop you right there, because first of all, when you communicate by email, because this has been brought to my attention, don't be insulting each other. Don't be calling each other liars. Don't be doing that. If you can't communicate properly, then I'm going to waive that thing. So I'm sitting there like, wow, that sounds very familiar. Sounds like my situation, and it really, insight into how this judge treats that sort of thing. So a concern that we had was like, am I wrong for being like, this will be recorded? Will the judge understand that? Should I have talked to the judge first and be like, hey, I just want to make sure this isn't improper? I probably should have, but I don't think it's going to hurt me in the long run. I don't think the judge is about to be like, hey, how dare you decide that this is like without my approval? No, he's just like, yeah, if you guys can't, what am I going to do about it? Fair. So, yeah, that's basically my tired, slow ramble about it. And the key takeaway I would say is, one, no significant success on my part yet, but I expect it to change. I'll be honest with you, my stuff's not getting improved. I've been trying some wacky racist style pleadings, and I know that a lot of us understand where I'm going with it, and like, it makes sense. But to a judge who's not familiar with the actual case, and this is something I think is really important when it comes to like reporting things. One of the issues I saw a lot when I work in investigations is people who report a thing, they know the thing. The person that they're reporting to does not know the situation. And if you if what you're saying cannot be proven, excuse me, then it can't really be acted upon. So you might have all the accusation in the world. You may know for a fact that what you're saying is true. At least you believe 100% that what you're saying is true. If the evidence cannot be submitted in a way that actually is effective, it's not really going to matter. So if I can't submit my arguments in the appropriate way to the court, which is why I'm getting an attorney, I was hoping. It's not working out. I was hoping. The attempt was made. All right. I'm proud of myself for trying. I put a lot of work in. I learned a lot. Trial by fire. I mean, this is a real world thing. Like, this will have, if everything falls apart on my end, very, very strong real world consequences. So now I'm just like, all right, we tried it. All right, let's get the professionals involved. Great. I don't dislike that idea on my part. I think perhaps maybe Mr. Castro could employ similar tactics. In fact, I believe in Nevada he is, which, like, good. Yes, good. I'm not going to fault him for that. There was a little bit of the whole, like, oh, you shouldn't get an attorney. Never get an attorney. Now he has an attorney. So, like, yeah, a bit of, one might argue that he is betraying his own beliefs in some way. I like to think of it as he's learned from his mistakes. He's learning. Now, if he continues to say, don't get an attorney, all right, no, he's not learning. He's just a hypocrite. But I like to think, and I hope, that he is learning, that he is improving. He's bettering himself. Better late than never. It's slow going. I'll tell you this. I'm a tired boy, so pardon the rambling. When it comes to First Amendment auditors, sovereign citizens, Chile de Castro, I don't wish for them to be harmed, hurt, imprisoned. I champion justice. I promote justice, however that might be. If that justice is a mandatory class on, like, a civics class, and they all come out, changed people, understanding their errors, great. That's fine. The victims, they'll have other ideas. As a victim of, at the very least, Mr. de Castro, in some ways, I would certainly argue, I'm not out for blood. I'm in it to win it. But really, the thing that would be the best Christmas present I could get is a complete and sudden, or at the very least rapid, change in understanding, sort of a little closer or right on the dot of what is true and correct when it comes to law enforcement, the government, and all the other things that he talks about. I would love that. If all of a sudden he's like, I apologize, I was so wrong, I understand now, I would respect that. I don't anticipate it, but I would respect it. So it's a whole thing. And I hope you understand where I'm coming from, and I hope that you consider maybe sharing that mentality of, we don't have to be enemies to be enemies with everybody. Some people earn it. But is it really responsible? Is it appropriate? And this is ethical, philosophy that you don't have to agree with. I'm just putting it out of the universe. Is it appropriate to wish harm, or is it more appropriate to hope that the problem is corrected in a way that benefits everybody? Because wishing harm upon somebody, and if that harm doesn't actually correct the problem and allows it to continue after the harm has been committed, it may feel great, doesn't fix the problem. Now, I'm not saying I'm not for punishment, but I think there's a time and a place for punishment, and I think there's a time and a place for encouraging the growth of a person. And I will accept growth of a person over punishment 9 times out of 10. In appropriate circumstances, if the growth is substantial enough. If that makes sense. I'm sorry. Very, very tired. But yeah, what are your, that's basically it so far. What are your questions? U235 says, what are the person on which harm upon is the country of France? Country of France is not a person, and therefore, not sure how that would work. So yes, there will be updates on other things. regarding Mr. Castro outside of this court thing. I think in the future, some of you already know, some of you don't. There's a little trickle of information, but I'm not putting anything out yet, not officially. But it's interesting news. I'll tell you that. Andrew Thompson says, I thought this was all about proving Chile to be an idiot. Isn't that punishment enough? I mean, I feel like that's a pretty substantiated fact at this point. John Cody says, go get some rest. I agree. I would love to. Paul Kemp says, Blue Bacon, is your lawyer going to refile the anti-SLAPP? If my lawyer feels it's appropriate, yes. I don't have the lawyer yet. I've contacted a lawyer referral service. They're going through what I've sent them, and they will be contacting me back, I presume. I sent an email and left a voice message. Tomorrow, at very early in the morning, I'll probably call to see if I can actually get a person if I don't hear back from them today, just to confirm, because I would like to get that taken care of as soon as possible. So, did I see DirectD's court filing? I have not. I've been a little busy. A very busy boy. But, yes. Also, James K, thanks so much, says, I never thought clicking on a guy spraying pepper spray on a turkey would lead me down a path of police impersonation, cyber citizens, VR chat. That's fair. Also, Ark Cousin, thank you for subscribing. James K, I'm returning to that. Don't worry. Love Daddy. Love Daddy. I'm going to say Daddy. That's fine. Thank you so much, says, Chili today, garnishment until retirement tomorrow. I mean, unless he just deletes his channel. He's been threatening to go on to other things, but I presume this is kind of his moneymaker. So, there's that. So, yeah, the pepper spraying the turkey thing, that was early days. Sorry, my eye. It's my eyeball, and it itches. It's just being ridiculous. I'm sorry. Yeah, early days, like first year or so of my channel. First year or two, maybe. Halloween came up, and I decided to do a video where I discussed an incident, my spookiest story of like the scariest thing I ever encountered during law enforcement stuff, and like not. I don't know. I've seen a dead body about 4 feet from me. Like but it wasn't scary. It didn't even feel like a person. It was like a hyper realistic mannequin. There's no movement. So it just there's a distinct feeling of like that's not a person. Very, very weird. But not scary. The scariest thing was I was in Ansbach, Germany, or Kaderbach Airfield. Sorry, and there are these tunnels underneath some of the buildings on the airfield, which is an old Nazi military installation that we took from them as we were pushing into Germany, and then we maintained. And then the neighbors get mad that we have helicopters, as if they hadn't been there since who knows when. Like it's been an airfield from, as far as I know, the Nazis. So like no, I don't think you get to complain if you bought property next to an airfield with helicopters. You don't even notice. Like I don't even notice helicopters anymore. Your brain tunes them out. I don't know what their problem is, but they had like signs on their roofs like U.S. helicopters go home. Like, sorry, is this like a family house, family home? Blame the Nazis for building an airfield next to you. I don't know what to tell you, man. But whoops. So, which isn't like. I'm sure more information about it might change my opinion, but that was my opinion at the time, that's for sure. Regardless, there are underground tunnels sort of connecting some of the buildings, and some of the people working on that base have this habit of just using it as storage and then forgetting what they're storing there. It's like, well, we don't really need this right now. Put it in there. And they sort of forget about it, or it ages out of relevance. Like it's no longer the correct thing. Once it's like, oh yeah, no, we have those. Let's go get them. It's like, oh no, we need something more up to date. This doesn't actually fit into what we need anymore because everything else has sort of changed around it. For example, like computer parts. If you have the old mice with not the USB plugs, but the rounder ones, I can't remember the name of them. Like that's not going to fit into a computer that doesn't have the input for it. So you have a box of those mice. That's basically useless. Just as an example, I don't know if that was actually a thing we found down there. But yeah, there would just be like weird stuff that would just show up. And I would go down there at night to see if I could find people doing the wrong thing, smoking the old dope, removing more clothes than perhaps they should outside of private enclosed spaces. Never actually did find anything, but like it was the place where some stuff did happen. I like to think that it stopped happening when I was on shift because I was patrolling, but that's almost certainly not the case. Um, and this was a time I didn't do much patrolling because when I went to Germany, I worked in counter narcotics mostly. So I signed into my unit. They sent me over to the MPs to sort of get trained up in the installation, make sure that I knew the local laws and could do a little patrolling with them to familiarize myself with their actual unit. And then they sent me back over. Like, all right, you're good for like the 3 months, back in. So like my patrolling was pretty limited as far as how much I actually did. I'm sure contributed to my lack of finding people. What I found was well, I tell the story properly. I'm looking down a long hallway with my flashlight, and I see this pile of something. It looks pink, but it's blurry. Like my eyes cannot get it into focus. Everything else is into focus. My brain cannot comprehend what I'm looking at. And I don't know if you ever experienced this when you're looking at something and like you can't figure out what it is. Sometimes it'll happen with people when it comes to images, more abstract stuff. You look at it and your brain's trying to like tell you that it's something that it isn't, and so you're trying to make sense of it, and then you realize, oh, it wasn't that, it was a duck all along, and that's why my brain couldn't make sense of it. So until my brain realized that I was trying to comprehend it in the wrong way, it just looked sort of blurry, fuzzy, or weird. It was that, but it was this pile of pink. That's how I usually describe it. H-Pod, yes, I was the fun police. Always, still am. That's not true. But yes, a little bit, yes. And I'm walking closer, like, what is this pile? And as I'm maybe 15 feet, I don't know how close I was. I'm just guessing at this point. It was 15 feet. It was a long time ago. Would have been 2014 probably. It just instantly snaps into view. Yes! Sorry, my hand went up here as I started to stretch. I realized I'm sore. Sorry. It snapped into view. It was just faces. It was just a pile of faces, which was like, oh, okay, what? CPR masks. They were CPR dummy masks. Someone had a box of that they just thrown down there, like, and just like poured out. And so it was this pile of faces. And so I made a video telling that story. I didn't tell it great, but people liked it. And they're like, oh, you should tell more holiday related stories. And I ended up telling a Thanksgiving story. Like my most interesting things. Was it a story or was it? I feel like there might have been a story. My most interesting Thanksgiving story is a man hanged himself. I didn't get to go to Thanksgiving. I wasn't even on shift. The Thanksgiving was happening at the on-call investigator's house in the drug suppression team, and so he was on call. So if there's anything big that needed extra personnel, he would get called into it if the CID agents responded to anything. And a German contractor hanged himself in a communications tower, and he had to respond to it. So he didn't get to go to Thanksgiving. And then his wife was like, well, then nobody gets to go to Thanksgiving. But they didn't tell me that. I knew that he had responded. I'm like, oh, well, he'll just have the leftovers. The rest of us get together and have food, because it was a turkey wrapped in bacon and then cooked, which, oh, man, I was interested. But I get to the house and knock on the door. Nobody's answering. I'm like trying to call up, like, hey, is we
huge?
I'm hungry. And then like, no, we're not having it, but we'll give you leftovers and some Tupperware. No, give me the fresh turkey. He can,
huge.
If we're all getting leftovers, regardless, why not just give him the leftovers and let us eat it fresh? Why do we all have to suffer? It's not like us eating it fresh is going to stop him from getting the leftovers. He's not getting any of it fresh, regardless. So it's just like, fine. Uh-oh. How many more do we have? Oh no, it's 5 of them.
Huge!
Griff Guy, thank you so much for gifting those memberships. Who got the memberships? Which one of y'all? All right. Lisa Alcazar, So Last Summer, Lexi Ann, U235, and Archangel. You are
huge!
Welcome to the party. So for the Thanksgiving, I don't know if I told this story, but what I did was I got a turkey microwave meal. I bought like pepper spray, and I sprayed the meal and then ate it. Be like, what is it like eating? Like, how spicy is it? Pepper spray does not taste good. It tastes like it's just a very chemical taste, and it's rough. I almost threw up a couple times because it's just like my body's just rejecting it. So that was the story. And also, like, there was a very weird coloring on the video. Like, something went wrong with the codec, or I don't know the terminology. So it's just like the sky's slightly green. It was a weird video, but I'm glad that you know about it and saw it, and I'm glad my channel has improved since then. It was, to a degree, nothing substantial, I'd say. But yes, we have 40 minutes. All right, we're doing all right. Barracks in Schweinfurt is now used to house refugees. Oh, Schweinfurt! I want to say I helped dismantle some of the CID office in Schweinfurt. And there was a desk that they closed down. So the office is like, well, we have our guns. Like, we have to transport it to an armory. We have to do, move all of our files out. We have to whatever. And I remember getting a table saw to basically chop up a desk that was particle boarded. It was like 400 pounds. I don't know how much it weighed. It was a lot. I remember doing that. I think it was Schweinfurt. But yeah, Griff Kai says, now we dropped hints that we need the 20,000 subs celebration. I wish I had time right now. I sure do. Yeah, and John says, yeah, the color was wild, but it was fun. Yes. They did close down in 2014. Yep, that would then it probably was Schweinfurt. Like, not that I remember well, because I was brand new. I didn't know any of the places. And so whenever someone brought it up, I'm like, I think that was it. Because I remember pigs. And Schwein, I think, is German for pig. But yeah. I turn on the volume. Huge! I can, but I won't. No, I'm kidding. Yes, hold on. You don't like being surprised by it, like I am all the time. It's fine. We could change the audio. Let's see if we can change the audio entirely. Numbers. Media. All right, I've turned it down a little bit. We're going to go through. What is investment? Oh, it's an upload. Stock files. Haunting alert. What is this? Good. Yas. Sorry, I don't know what I'm doing with my hands. I'm too white for that. Mega drop? I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry.
I appreciate it.
Oh, that's what this is.
I'm going to tell you right now, terrible investment, but thank you.
Okay. Yeah, it might get really loud. I'm so sorry. Electro pop game. Hold on. It might be loud. Oh, no. That's funky. But it's too good. I need something that's rough. Clean notification. Anthem rock. DJ Scrub. Oh. That might be useful somewhere. Epic. I hope that you guys can hear any of this. Okay, no, I'm seeing my eardrums. Epic horn. Chat, that might be it. Big boom OGG. Big boom .mp3. Same thing, just different file. Got it. I'm going to do Epic Horn again. Let me know what you think. We're going to try to find the huge alternatives, but I feel good about this. Stroke Softer. Thanks for being a member. Great to see your ADHD strikes again. More than I'm very tired. All right, Epic Horn. We're going to check. Night Vision OGG. Wait, MP3. Got it. That's not what Night Vision sounds like. That's not mine anyway. Tribal drums. Power chords. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. All right, here's the huge.
Huge!
And then there's easy.
Easy.
I can't believe what.
I can't believe this. Huge!
Oh no. What have you done? Who did it? Oh, it was just Stroke Assaulter's thing. Thank you, Stroke Assaulter. Insane.
Insane!
I kind of do like that. This is amazing.
This is amazing.
We win these.
We win these.
You're awesome.
You're awesome.
I mean, yeah, you guys are, but like, it's not, I don't think it's dumb enough. Dreidel Long. Apparently not. Fairly short. I see. Adventure. I'm not sure I agree with that. Midnight. Ooh. Raid MP3. Oh, that would get obnoxious very quickly. We could do that. All right, I think it's between that, the Raid MP3. Oh god, that would be awful. The horn or one of the voices. The monks made in Asian empires. I'm not sure I'm allowed to, technically.
There we go.
That would be that would be kind of a fun one. Just wind down. Yeah, that would be obnoxious. Which is maybe what we want. Nice play, thank you for being a member. Says, how about some sound clips from Artie for some donations? That would be great. I could get him saying things. I could just steal his audio. He'll allow it, maybe. But yes. Yeah, sorry about the volume. Hello, Father. I hope not.
Huge!
Huge! Now we're doing getting two huges for each because I have this open. What's cute chime? Oh, that's delightful. So, no. What's success? Very loud is what it is. All right. Do we want raid, horn, or...
It's insane!
Or...
There we go.
That would be... I will hate that one. All right. Do we want...
There we go.
Do we want... Wait for it. The horn. I've lost it. It's gone forever. Where'd it go? Wait.
Oh, yeah.
That might be the one. that might be the one. Oh, all right. This is the horn. There's oh yeah.
Oh, yeah.
There's
There we go.
or there is that one. So that's raid. We have the horn. We have there we go, and we have oh yeah. Which one, folks? I'm leaving it up to you. And then I'm going to end this stream. I'm going to forget that I've done this. I'm going to go take a nap. And everything that we've done so far is going to just bloop right out of my brain. Probably not even going to take a nap. I got stuff to do. Yeah, the raid, not rave, to be fair. But I understand why you'd think so. Yeah, the raid is pretty long. Why is it so loud? Okay, everyone's saying horn. You guys don't want the oh yeah one. This is the horn. You don't want this one?
Oh, yeah.
I hate it so much. I'm gonna have to use that for something else because it's horrific. Yeah, it's real bad. it's oh my god. All right, we'll make it. I don't know that it has super hot in here. I mean, I guess. All right, we're changing it. I'm turning down the volume. It's official. All right. Forgive me, Jerry. Not much. Just Chili didn't show up. Hitch That's what I'm thinking is use it for the $100 donation because it's awful, like for a logo. But I have the music for that. Maybe I could do both. All right. the huge is now the horn. It should be working. So if anyone has super chat they have through their membership that they haven't used, I don't know if that gets reset at the beginning of the month or at the date that you get your membership. But if you want to use it and test it, you could. Just see if it works. Not everyone all at once, if anybody at all. Just in case it didn't work. Spoon from the tickle. I don't know if I'm allowed to use it. These are ones that I'm allowed to use through my software. Water and nap. It's true. I do need it. Appreciate it, H-Ball. Thank you. Says test. Worth it. Is that too quiet now? Is that what? So last summer, thank you so much. Says I hoard these for special occasions. You're welcome. I don't know what it's gonna do. Maxine, what? First of all, before I forget how to say things, thank you. That kind of blowing my mind. Don't really know how to appropriately respond to that in a way that conveys the absolute shock at your generosity. That's well, now I don't even have the huge anymore.
For a rung on the ladder you now need.
I gotta get something printed. You know what? This might just be yours permanently now. I don't know. It's too much fun as its own little prop. You might have to have your own special thing on the shelf somewhere. I'm gonna swear. Cover your ears, children and people who don't want to swear. Holy shit! Thank you. What the actual fuck, Maxine? You incredibly wonderful person. Sorry, just to convey. I'm absolutely shooketh, and sort of my brain isn't really processing it as a good thing just yet, because I worry about any financial hardship it might cause, and maybe I don't have to worry about that, but really from the bottom of my toes, I guess, his heart's just not. It's all of it. Thank you. That's going to be unbelievably helpful moving forward with all of my what's going on. So just thank you, really. That is a weight off. One that I didn't want to ask for, and I don't think I just want to make sure you all know that I think that I can get through this without this level of generosity. And I'm not trying to say this isn't appreciated. This is beyond appreciated to the point where I don't even know how to appreciate it. I can't put my brain into a place that appreciates it properly. Just because I operate here, and the appreciation, I'm just sort of looking at it like it's some unknown entity that I haven't experienced before. It's like, be not afraid, if any of you understand that reference. I don't want this to start something. I don't want people to think, well, now I have to match that. Now I have to look at him go. We're just confusing the poor man. Mm, there's been so much generosity towards myself and the other content creators who have been dealing with litigation. Uh, a significant amount of money has been moved to assist, and I've seen the amount or the alleged amounts that were donated, and I was very very impressed and pleased that this community has come together in that way. But when I began this legal journey, I suppose, I didn't want to recreate that. I didn't. I didn't want like the Children's Crusade. We're like, wow, we're gonna do it too. We're just like we've run out, so give us your children to go on a crusade because God won't let the children die. Fun fact: the children died. Um, history lessons. So I did get it together. I didn't anticipate it. Is I guess what I'm saying is I appreciate it more than you know. Maybe you do know because I'm just a mess at this point. Um, I just want to know that this isn't going to create problems for you. I think that's what I'm hoping for. Just that it's not. And you've been so incredibly generous for so long. That it's really nice. It's really nice. Which is a bit of an understatement considering. Um, and maybe it's I don't think I deserve it. Maybe it's a lot of things. And you just get to watch me try to figure out how to mentally be here for this, which I'm sure many of you are like, shut up, get it together, you weirdo. Which is fair. That is good advice for everything I do. I don't know how to convey how appreciative I am. And I hope me bumbling my way through an attempt to tell you how little I understand about how to appreciate this kind of generosity is in itself an effective way of showing how much I appreciate this. Because that's enormous. And now I get to explain to my mom why someone would be this generous because she likes to ask and I never know. But I hope I'm worthy of it. I hope I deserve it. And I hope I continue to live a life that inspires generosity, not necessarily towards myself, but to people in need. And if you believe I'm the person in need, well, maybe right now I kind of, in some way, am. Not in a way where, everything's about to change in my life. I'm going to lose my home and people around me. I'm very lucky with what I have and the opportunities that I've been given and the way I was raised that inspired me to work hard. And the platform I launched off of growing up to then go out into the world on my own. I've been very fortunate. And I don't want anyone to think that right now I need this kind of generosity. I appreciate it. I respect it. I am overwhelmed by it. But I hope that I continue to inspire generosity and kindness and hope and well-being and joy into the world. If that's in fact what I'm doing. Because that's sort of the intent. And sometimes I'm a little silly and ridiculous. And sometimes we talk about some difficult topics. But it's with the intent of education and helping, which is one of the reasons why I've sort of stopped covering First Amendment auditors. Is it just became too harmful to individuals. It stopped in some ways being about education and more about entertainment. And I think entertainment is important, but education should, when it comes to these topics, should be paramount. But thank you. I will never not be appreciative of that. I can't imagine a reason why I would not think about that and be blown away at any point in my life. So thank you. Well, it's one hell of it's one hell of a ramble. Lisa says profanity is liberating. It sure is. I'm very confused. You are correct, John Coyote. You are correct. I don't know how to deal with this, and that sounds negative. I don't know how to approach this. Is really what it is. But thank you, Maxine. I see. Okay, Maxine says not to worry. Good. I thank you. You're good. I mean, you never have to do anything again, as far as I'm concerned. You know what? Here's what I'm thinking. Chat, let me know what you think. You know how they give keys to the city? A key to the channel. Now, it's not going to actually do anything. It's not going to get you access to the channel, but sort of as like a hey, for your contributions, here's a key to the city, but to the channel. I could look into that at some point. Don't let me forget that. Kind of like that idea, even if it's just on paper somewhere, just 3D printed on my shelf, just like for Maxine, key to the channel, spray painted gold. Like, it could be that simple. But so Summer says, is there anything we Bacon Bits can do to help thank Maxine? Maxine, if there's anything that we all can do to thank you, then please let us know for sure. And for those wondering, or saying that, we do want to support you. We do want to support you. If financial support becomes an issue, I do intend to, or becomes something that would be very, very helpful, as opposed to just generally helpful. Because of course it's helpful, but if it becomes more necessary, if that makes sense, I do intend to create some sort of GoFundMe or fundraiser event where the money would be processed separately from YouTube. Makes it easier to track and less of a cut, so it's more effective as far as donations go. And so, if you want to donate, whatever you're planning on donating, feel free to set it aside. Just hold off. If that's something you want, I'm not asking for it right now. But my recommendation is hold off, and then if a fundraiser does pop up, it will be ready to go. And then if you're like, oh man, no, I don't like him anymore, or actually, you know what, I do need this for my own personal life. Maybe I need some more coffee, like me right now. And then it's still there, and nobody would have known. That's my suggestion, just to sort of keep things fair and reasonable and effective. So, yeah. And if you're like, man, but I want to help, but I can't afford it. Hey, I accept payments and compliments, reasonable compliments. I deal with a lot of negativity. There it is on YouTube, personal, work, life, whatever. Like it's a thing that I willingly put myself into because I feel like I can make a difference and sort of take some of that upon myself. But it does help to see the other side of things, and that's true for a lot of people in law enforcement, in the government. Is when you're dealing with if your job is to essentially insert yourself into negative interactions, call center workers too, nurses, doctors. It's a thing. If your job is to insert yourself into situations that are often negative, it can wear you down. and seeing the other side of it really does a lot. And if you do feel like sending me nice messages, it doesn't have to be. In fact, I would encourage it not to be at the expense of someone else, if that makes sense. In the interest of just making the world a little bit better. Limiting, I'm not saying stop entirely, but limiting the negative intent, even if it's not directed at me. Even if it's directed at somebody that I personally don't really get along with, that sort of thing. Someone that you may consider to have attacked me in some way, if that makes sense. That would be my hope. And there's something I was saying to a person recently about individuals who are going through a lot. We may look at them and think, well, it's not that big of a deal. Get over it. Your problems aren't big. But sometimes a small problem, when carried for a long time, is a big problem because of the small weight over an extended period. One of the things of basic training, like first day of basic training, once you're doing your processing, that we did was we got our pencil, we held it above our heads, or a pen, or whatever. You hold it above your head, straight up. And they say, is that pencil heavy? It's not. Hold that pencil up, hold it up, keep holding it up. Like 10, 15 minutes, you're holding this pencil up. And everyone's arms start to drop. And they can't hold that pencil up. And the drill sergeants are screaming, why can't you hold a pencil? It weighs nothing. It weighs, less than whatever. It's, how are you this week? You think you're ready to be soldiers. Oh, we will fix you. Understand how weak you are now. We will make you better. But right now you are nothing. You can't even hold up a pencil. And it's not that the pencil is heavy. You can, not a problem. Not a problem. Barely know it's there. You're holding that. And of course, it's not just a pencil, it's your arm. It's you're carrying, wow, that pencil is the heaviest thing in the world. And I can lift a reasonable amount of weight. But I couldn't hold a pencil in the air for more than 15 minutes at the time. Who knows now? I will say I was one of the last person to let my arms drop, but that's because I was tall enough that I could stick the pencil point into the ceiling tile. And I cheat a little bit. But it was definitely a struggle. So sometimes it's not about the weight of the issue, it's the length of time that somebody's been carrying it. Atlas holds the world, according to the Greek mythology. And he manages it. And taking that weight off of his shoulder for just a moment might be difficult. But sometimes just relieving him of that burden, according to mythology, is all it takes for him to be able to hold that up for a little bit longer. If you can take someone's burden temporarily, let them rest, stretch it out, reinvigorate themselves, maybe they can take the burden back and be able to do it a little bit better. Maybe even reduce the burden, moving away from the Atlas mythology example, because removing that would be a problem. Yeah, just take Australia. I'm not sure how relevant that is to what we're talking about. I think it's important to put out there is just because a problem seems small doesn't mean that it isn't weighing very, very heavily. And I hope that you all go out into the world and maybe try to take a few burdens that you can carry, because you haven't been holding on to it. Just take it from somebody for a moment. Just for a moment. Just to give them time, just some breathing room before they take it back. I think we could do a lot of good with that mentality. And I hope that that's the kind of thing that I'm promoting here. And I hope that's the kind of thing that incredibly generous donations like this are funding. So thank you. Let me step on my soapbox. Just because it doesn't make sense to you doesn't mean it doesn't make sense to the person. The convention. There's a lot of stuff happening with people, with what they're dressed as, who they are, what they're interested in. That doesn't make sense to me. But it doesn't really affect me. It's their choice, not mine. You be you. Because it doesn't make sense to me doesn't mean it doesn't make sense to them. What I do doesn't make sense to everybody else. It makes sense to me. And I think we need to focus on, again, back on the soapbox, our similarities rather than our differences. It's harder. It is. It's harder. But we have a lot in common. And so sometimes, if we see something that's different, that confuses us, we should, before we make a judgment and spring to action about it, think about whether or not it really hurts anybody. Does it hurt me? Does it hurt them? Does it hurt people around them? Or is it just something that makes sense to them, the communities that they're in? And should we just let it happen? And if you can't interact positively with it, don't interact with it. If you don't know what you're talking about, don't talk. Something that happened at the convention, John Barrowman, who you might know from Doctor Who, Arrow, not Archer, Arrow. Some other stuff, the producers. There was an incident where he was escorted out of a restaurant in Tacoma or Seattle. But the restaurant apparently is a weird one. It has it's multiple buildings. And so if one of them's filled up, you can go to the other one. And someone who's not from the area wouldn't know this. I've never been there. I don't really know how it works. But he was sort of taken to the other building, and there was this. It looked like, my understanding of it, I don't know all the details. It looked like he was being escorted out. However, it appears that they were just sort of being like, "Well, we can take you to the other one that actually has room." And he ended up sending a message to the restaurant saying, "Hey, I'm sorry that this happened. I do wish that maybe the customer service was different. I presume, I don't want to put words in his mouth. I presume it was just he didn't understand how the restaurant worked, and maybe they didn't explain it very well. Perhaps they were just really, really busy, and they were just giving him information. They didn't realize how much information they had to give him. But it was kind of a kerfuffle. And he said that he's like, hey, just something, customer service. That's all I know. Haven't seen what he sent. He put out a video about this. He was at the convention, if that helps. I don't know if what I'm saying makes sense and why I'm bringing up John Barrowman. But apparently, and this, I may have this completely wrong. If I haven't actually gotten to the actual source of it. Apparently, the restaurant tweeted out and said, "Hey, we're sorry. Here's what we were sent. Something related to it." The British newspapers picked it up because John Barrowman is really, really famous for a lot of things in England. He's famous in the United States, but I guess leaps and bounds above in England. And they started talking about it. And then the internet was like, oh, it's an LGBTQ thing because John Barrowman's gay, and therefore they kicked him out because he's gay. And oh my God, which is Tacoma and Seattle, it's unlikely. And so John Barrowman had to put out a statement, I guess online. I haven't seen it, but I heard him talking about it in person to people who asked him, and he's just like, I'm gonna swear again. This is a pretty close quote. People need to stop talking shit about the shit they don't know about. And he made it very clear. He was like, it was not LGBTQ. It was not anti that at all. It was just maybe some bad customer service. And I thought I made that very clear. But there are people trying to defend me who don't know what the situation is. And they could have watched my video that I posted explaining it. And they didn't. And they decided to attack someone in my defense. And they shouldn't. They don't know what they're talking about. So I think maybe the world needs a little less of that. Which is that's very fair. And John Barrowman is he is who he is. He has a song where he sings something about that, I think. Or there's a video someone sent me that I haven't watched yet. Where it's I am who I am, or I don't know. But he's a character. He's very, very fun. And he's not really apologetic about it. He's just yep, this is me. If you don't like it, that's too bad. Get out of here. And so he was just don't defend me. I can defend me. But you're getting it wrong. So especially don't defend me. And I, again, don't want to put words in his mouth. This may not have been his intent. Nothing but respect for the man, especially having met him this weekend. Very glad I did. He was a lot of fun to watch doing his thing when I was in the area. There it is. Hank, thank you so much for giving a membership. Zen Zippy, you get a membership. Congratulations. So, who said? Wait, who said that? Yeah, because I'm tired. I don't care as much about swearing. Someone said, "Ooh, profanity again." It was Lexi Ann, and then there's a smiley face with a heart. Yeah, it's. I try not to swear because family. I try to make this accessible to all ages, more or less. This channel. I swear a lot. I do in my personal life. So does Jonathan Frakes, it turns out. It's very fun watching Riker swear. Riker? That's right. I think. That sounds right. Anyway, I do. It's just I try not to let it slip out, which is why I give warnings. Sometimes I forget. But yeah, in case you want to know who I am as a real person, it's a lot like this, but a little more swearing. And Lexian also says, your channel is an escape for me. There's too much drama out there. I can handle it at times, but it's necessary to get away from it. Yeah, there's internet drama. There's a lot of internet drama. Who was it? There's someone who was quoted as saying people are too comfortable saying things on the internet without worrying about being punched in the face. Mike Tyson? It sounds like a Mike Tyson thing. Fair. The psychology behind it's really, really fascinating. But I'm glad people feel comfortable here as a sort of a place to step away from the drama. And some people need to step away from here. That's fine. And sometimes you need to step away from the internet altogether. Folks, don't feel bad if you need to just shut your phone off for a day. Well, within reason. Something like that's healthy. It is unhealthy how much information we access in some ways. It's very useful. In some ways it is healthy, but in a lot of ways it can be really, really bad. And I do encourage having some sort of internet-free days. Grab a book, go to a park, do whatever. But I think it's very appropriate to sort of take a break sometimes. I don't take my own advice on that, but I know I should. I know it would help me. Yes. Now, Goober Thoreau says, sounds like the judge thinks it's extremely frivolous and being drug out by incorrect filings. Hopefully, Blue Bacon can get a lawyer who can help him focus on what can/should be done and what shouldn't be. That's my thought as well. Like, it feels to me, and the judge is not saying it directly, but like it feels, and obviously I'm biased towards stuff that will benefit me. It feels like the judge is like, likes in there, is saying, or knows this isn't going to go anywhere and wants me to actually get something to file correctly, get it over with. Because that's what I'm trying to do on my own, and it's not working because obviously I'm not good enough for that. I gave it a shot. I don't think I put myself in a position I cannot recover from by trying. I'm glad I tried. I am now. We'll see in the future. I'm glad I tried. I learned a lot. I put in work. But I'm not too proud to say, no, I need someone who actually went to school for this. I need somebody who is trained and an expert and etc. Not too proud. I would have liked to have achieved that. That would have been crazy. That would have been nuts. But like, what were the odds ever, right? And maybe I was a little selfish. Maybe pride did play a pretty big part in that. But there is that limit. Could I keep going without an attorney? Technically, yes. Should I? Absolutely not. Should I have ever done this without an attorney? Technically, no. Is it going to... Have I crossed the event horizon, let's say, and there's no going back from the mistakes I've made? I don't think so. We'll see. I'm going to hear it from an attorney that I'm paying. Some guy, thank you so much, says, to be fair, you're my favorite discount Commander Riker. Let me get a chair lean in there for you. No, can't. Yeah. Yeah. I want Commander Riker. We have a Commander Riker at home. Commander Riker at home. When you order Commander Riker off Wish. Oh, boy. Hitchbot says, just demand that Jose show proof of subject matter jurisdiction. Here that works out every time. I think we're actually technically past that because I've essentially accepted the jurisdiction, even if, but maybe not. Sue Bear says, bye guys, I got to go to speech. Fair enough. Miss Manny, good to have you here. I should also probably go. You just got me on my soapbox, ethical, look at me and my opinions. Did I say soapbox already? Sorry, very tired. Sometimes I take that high road, whether or not, I'm the kind of person that deserves to be able to say we should all be nicer to each other. I'm not perfect, and maybe there's a bit of hypocritical nature to it. I hope not, but I am not perfect. I am not the exact specimen. I try to follow my advice. It doesn't always work out, but I do try. I do want to be the person I pretend to be on the internet. And I like to think a lot of me off camera is similar to me on camera. I hope, because I do try to present a better version of myself in many ways. Maybe a more ridiculous, silly, goofy version of myself. Although I've been known to be silly, goofy, and ridiculous off camera. I try to be the person I pretend to be. And I hope it's an appropriate role model. And I think maybe we should all try to be always working to be a better person. That's what I care about. If you've done things, if you've wronged people in the past, if you've made mistakes, if you have created problems, who hasn't? Are you trying to better yourself? That's what I care about. And so I hope that I am doing that, and I hope you all are too. So I'll just take all my soapboxes down. I'm so sorry, they're piling up here, aren't they? I'm gonna get out of here. Hopefully, I can stream on Thursday after that hearing, give you some updates, and hopefully we can get Friday. Oh boy, what day is Friday? I don't know. I'll be available Friday because my National Guard stuff is starting very, very soon, and I will be possibly unavailable for the next 2 weeks to a certain amount of time. Okay, Friday's the 2nd. Yeah, there's a good chance I will not be able to stream this coming Friday. And even this Thursday might be a problem. Wait a second. No, I'm sorry. I'm looking at the wrong month. Okay. Friday is the 30th. Saturday is the 1st. I believe I will be able to stream on Friday and on Thursday. I am so sorry. I was looking at the wrong part of the calendar. Okay. I can't make any promises, but I'm going to try. So, summary, please. Games Tech. Hi. Yes, hello. Summary is Chili didn't show up. I've been given more time to correct my filings, and I've been advised once again to require an attorney. I've told the judge that I am hiring an attorney. I've just filed some stuff with an attorney sort of acquisition service. I don't know what's the exact name. Like a referral service. You contact the bar, and then they find an attorney that sort of meets your case that matches your situation. So that is being processed right now. And most importantly, Maxine Kennedy was unreasonably generous. And my brain's still not quite figuring that out of how someone could care about me that much. Not that I don't appreciate it. It's just it's nice that someone, I assume, believes in what I do and wants to support it at that level. It is not necessary. It's not required. It is not requested. It is beyond anything I would ever expect from anybody. But it did happen, and it certainly shouldn't be ignored. That'd be absurd. And it is absolutely incredible. And I don't want any of you who are not dropping that kind of donation to feel like I don't also appreciate you. No. It's just that it's its own thing. I don't know how to speak anymore. And to all of you who have been generous with financially, compliments, with support, and those of you who are just here, being present, just attending, listening, learning. I hope. Thank you. It's so wonderful. It's so wonderful that I have a hobby like this that has a platform that I hope is doing good. I hope is putting good into the world in some small way. As ridiculous and absurd as it is, of me and this whole thing, I'm sort of like slowly falling over. I really appreciate all of you being here. You guys get it. That's right, forgive Jerry. So that's that. You missed a lot of soapboxing of me just philosophizing and try not to fall. I'm very tired, so I should get going before I just fall over. So anyway, so I'll be here all day if I don't end this now, because you guys are just so great. I'm very happy with the quality of people that watch my content. Not that I'm trying to only surround myself with certain type of people, but you guys are pretty great. I'm not gonna lie. I've been very fortunate. So thank you so much, everyone. I hope to see you all soon, and I hope to do some video gaming in the near future. Battle Bits is looking pretty fun. I might. The Steam Summer Sale is coming up too. I might have to see if it goes on sale for Steam. Well, it's brand new. It might not. We'll keep an eye on it. Battle Bits. Anyway, rambling, tired, sleepy. Not much sleep this weekend. But you guys are great. If nothing else I said made any sense, I want this to stick out. You guys are great. Thank you. And with that out of the way, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to go lay down. Maybe close my eyes a little bit and ruin my sleep schedule. So, until the next time, ladies and gentlemen, be good, stay safe.